That tip, I literally feel like I should charge for it because that one alone has literally turned heads towards me in a huge cattle call audition of 150 dancers in a tendu combination. Hey dancer friends, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. Today I want to share with you tips on how to stand out appropriately in ballet class. This is kind of a niche topic, but there are times for all of us where we really want to stand out in a good way. And there's a very particular way to go about that in order to garner the right kind of attention and also to do it in a way where you're not desperate for attention, because sometimes that can totally backfire and then make you feel overly attached to a teacher's opinion of you. So then when you don't get that look that you wanted or the good job, then it gets really discouraging really fast. So we're going to talk about the nuances of that and how to attract attention well and the right kind in ballet class. The first tip is about your mindset. Have the mindset of focusing on yourself and wanting to embody confidence, to enjoy yourself, and to focus on dancing the way you really enjoy dancing and want to dance for yourself. So this helps you to focus on what matters, focus on what you can do, what you can influence. It helps you to focus on embodying, let's say, generally your quote unquote best self. I know it's such an overused phrase that I tend to not like to use, but let's just use it for ease. It also helps you to put the focus on yourself in a way that helps you to feel fulfilled and actually draw in the right kind of attention, rather than the opposite here is that when we actually work for attention, we are attached to a certain outcome of something someone else needs to give us in order to be happy. You feel me? I know a lot of you do. Yes, it is so easy to get in that desperation energy, that desperate mindset of, I want you to pay attention to me. I want this teacher to validate that I'm doing well, so I feel like I'm doing well. But hold on, in order to take our power back, we need to flip the script. I know it feels difficult, but it is a practice. And when you actually devote yourself to practicing this, you will get better at it and it will become easier. That practice is putting that focus back on your own intentions. How do I want to dance? How do I want to measure my own success in this classroom in a way that I can actually meet it? How do I want to improve? What do I like about the way I dance, and how do I want to turn up my good qualities, like make them even bigger and better? When you're focusing on how you want to take what's within your control and make more out of it, then you're going to be, in a sense, too busy to really be that attached to what someone else thinks. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't care what other people think. Of course you care. That's normal, natural, and totally fine to value the feedback that you would be getting from a teacher or a director or a choreographer. It also is very innate that we want to belong. We want to feel like what we're pouring into this relationship you have with the teacher is being received. We like reciprocity, so it's totally normal to desire feedback and to desire good feedback. However, if we have this relationship with the attention or the feedback where it's like we need it in order to feel good about ourselves, in order to feel confident, in order to feel like we're enough, then that is where you have an unhealthy relationship with that attention. And that's going to really not serve you, as I'm sure you don't even need me to tell you that. You've probably already experienced it yourself. It's a great chance to focus on embodying what you want rather than focusing on getting something from someone else that you need. You need them to see you, to say something in order for you to feel okay. Like, that's where it gets dysfunctional. So turn that attention back towards yourself and treat the attention and the feedback as the nice cherry on top. Also realize that desperation actually pushes people away. Desperate energy repels people. My sister and I joke, we say grippy energy. It's like when people are like, I need you to like me, I need you to think I'm cool, whatever. It actually makes you feel like, ugh, right? Like when you're in social situations, haven't you experienced that before? The person could be totally fine. Or, you know, for my people who are older, if you're on a date, let's use this example, and someone's like, seems really, really like they're trying to tie you down or whatever. It's like there's something a little sketchy about it, like repulsive. It's weird. And so instead, when we feel solid and good as we are, and we practice confidence, self-acceptance, having a high respect for yourself and value of yourself, you will actually feel like a safe space for people to want to lift you up. They want to draw towards you. They want to notice and validate when you do a good thing. Because there's something that happens, I've noticed this, when dancers feel overly desperate for my attention when I've been a teacher, there's something super like instinctual, that it's like this instinct gets lit up in me to actually want to not give them that attention, because I have this fear, it's all on the instinctual level, that I am validating a dysfunctional behavior. It's also conscious for me. It's like I have a conscious desire to not validate dysfunctional behavior, because I can tell when a student is overly attached to my opinion and they want validation. Going back to my instincts, I definitely don't want to give it to them on an instinctual level, because I feel like their attachment, and so then energetically that repels me. But then also on a conscious level, I feel that by validating them, I am agreeing with their dysfunctional behavior. This isn't a video about teaching. There's some things I do about that, but anyway, it's just good to know from the dancer's side the energetic dynamics of attachment and the power of detaching. It actually draws the right kind of attention in. So had to start with that because it's actually the most important thing to know. Hey dancers, I wanted to just briefly take a pause in this video to talk to you about the Confident Dancer Coaching Program, which is an opportunity to work with me individually as your mindset coach to help you develop the confidence to truly feel and dance your best consistently. So much of being the dancer you want to be is a mental game. We know that. And if you're struggling with self-doubt, performance anxiety, low self-esteem, perfectionism, comparison, overthinking, all that stuff, I've seen it, I've lived it, I see it in clients all the time. And to walk them through this journey of supporting them and equipping them with the real tools and mindset shifts and insights to build the confidence that they've always wanted, it's so incredible. And so change is absolutely possible for you, even if you think, no, I'm a chronic overthinker, I can't. I'm just not a confident dancer. You guys, you don't have to keep struggling. And I just want you to know that that support is available. And this is a great time, especially if you're preparing for audition season in the spring. Just know that this is a great time to start equipping yourself with the confidence now and the awareness of your strengths, all these things, the mindset that will help you to succeed and thrive and have a great time even in audition season. So invest in that and in yourself and in your success now. And the way that you can learn more about the Confident Dancer Coaching Program and take the next step to working together is visit theconfidentdancer.com or kirstenkemp.com. They both lead to the same website. You can learn more about my services there, see amazing testimonials from past clients I've worked with, excuse my dog barking, and also you can reach out to apply for a free 30-minute consultation where you and I can discuss your challenges, your goals, and see if working together would be a great fit. So I can't wait to speak with you and support you, and let's go on with the rest of the video. The second thing I'll talk about after mindset is attitude. The attitude that tends to generally draw in the right kind of attention is one that is very positive. If you show up with a positive energy, like very eager to work, like, okay, you guys, hear me out. For this whole video, I want you to listen to what I'm saying through the filter of all of these suggestions need to be coming from a genuine place of wanting to do this for yourself. If you do this in a performative way to get attention, you will get the opposite result of what you actually want. So when I say be engaged, be positive, focus on that, having that genuine, eager, willing, excited, just happy to be there, calm, confident, enjoyment kind of energy, it's something that's attractive to people because by watching you, they feel good and people draw towards what feels good, right? However, if you do it in a performative way to get the attention, it's going to come off as inauthentic, and so you're not going to be attracting the right kind of attention. But The attitude here is, again, confident, sure of yourself. There's a lot to confidence. That's why I have a whole coaching program around it, mindset coaching, to help dancers develop confidence. So I won't get really into a deep dive about how to develop that confidence, but when you can tap into that choice to be sure of something within yourself, something within your abilities, it can help you to tap into that confidence. Also, enjoying yourself. When you genuinely are enjoying your dancing, and I don't mean just your dancing, but the act of being able to dance. If you're even thinking you're tapping into gratitude to be able to dance, that is a good feeling. It reads. People can tell you're feeling that, and feelings are very infectious. So again, people draw towards what feels good. So if you're feeling good on the inside, it is actually something that's very attractive. I will also say calm. Having a calm attitude is also very, very important. Again, when I can tell that students really want attention, or fellow dancers really want attention, like in past audition situations I've been in, I can tell that they're like overly eager, overly excited, and they have such a heightened energy that it's like, okay, you're trying to project something. Now I'm wondering, oh my gosh, have I come off that way? Like, if any of you have met me in real life, like my enthusiasm is literally real. I don't know if this, I'm projecting that. Oh well, look at me being hyper analytical here. Yeah, being calm really reads well, because a lot of times, especially in audition situation or a ballet class where you're being watched by like an important teacher, a lot of people will have a very heightened state of energy. And so if you are the calm presence in the room and you come in with that contrast, it actually is very attractive. And lastly, engaged. Really do not overdo this one, you guys. I know so many dancers, I've seen a lot of dancers in my own training who are the ones that like stand like this and like nod their head to everything the teacher is saying, and like the teacher says a joke that's like really not even funny and they're like, ah! And it's like, oh my gosh, we get it, Cindy, like you're here, we understand. People are really doing their best out there, but it's a lot. So when I say be engaged, I mean connect through your eye contact. Like your body language should be engaged in a calm way, okay? So looking at what the teacher is doing, being still, but then having a nod to show recognition that you've received what they've said. Things like that go a long way, just being present and engaged. That's also really nice to be around. Next, this is going to be an artistic note. Really not being afraid to go all in on a particular detail in the combination. I was just at ballet class on Friday, and there was this dancer who we were doing Grand Allegro, and there was like a step, huge assemblée, and you land, and then a big chassé, arabesque hold, and then three, like a pas de creux into a whatever, tourgette. Entrelace. Like my British ballet teacher growing up always said entrelace, and I thought it sounded way cooler than tourgette. Anyway, and that's totally besides the point. But anyway, so this dancer really decided to hold that arabesque for a long time, almost too long, and then she sped up her pas de creux, her three steps, and it made her next movements really exciting, and it totally stood out. And I could tell that she was like relishing in the movement, and it was so eye-catching. There's a way to respectfully bend the rules isn't the right term, but like take one movement that maybe the teacher didn't say, like they didn't specify, that they weren't like, do it exactly like this. There tends to usually be some wiggle room within a combination for artistic interpretation. So pick one detail. Maybe very musical pliés, like very rhythmical, I'll say, having like passe and down and up and down and up, instead of having like a plie that it's just functional, it's not interesting in the timing. That might be a detail where if it works with how the teacher showed the combination, you could really go all out in that. Go all out maybe in your épama, or like really extend one movement and then speed up the rest so that you're back on the timing. That's actually a musical quality called rubato. It's a legitimate thing where you can extend the end of one phrase and speed up another to create intrigue and suspense and tension that then you release, and it makes it very interesting to watch. So find a detail and don't be afraid to go all out with it. Again, not for attention, but because you are enjoying and relishing in the movement. Next, I'm going to give you some points on musicality, how to stand out with musicality. One of my favorites is to use stillness intentionally. If you want to stand out, obviously you want to use contrast, because if you're the same as everyone else, you're not going to stand out. But the question is how to do that in a good way, which obviously this whole video is about, how to do it appropriately, because there's very much a fine line there, especially in ballet, which is such a precise and codified art form where it seems to be a right way and a wrong way to do it. It's very much about like following what the teacher said a lot of time. There's still a way to stand out, of course, or else there wouldn't be a sense of hierarchy of, you know, certain dancers being standouts in the world. Stillness is a really powerful practice in your musicality in order to stand out well. Why? Because commonly when dancers just aren't thinking about it, they're not being intentional, like, well, there's naturally just a ton of movement in the ballet class, right? And when dancers just really get on a roll, sometimes we feel like we constantly have to move, but that's really not the case. Sometimes having a moment where you're doing, let's say, a fondue to a tango, you could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One dancer might go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See how it's constantly moving? The dancer who uses stillness at the top and then smoothness in the fondue, stillness at the top, or even in a tendu, out and a close and out and a close, and instead of being like grippy and continuing to move, there's actual simplicity and stillness in the tendus. That goes such a long way to help you stand out in a room of constant motion. That tip, I literally feel like I should charge for it, because that one alone has literally turned heads towards me in a huge cattle call audition of 150 dancers in a tendu combination. Like, is tendu really the one where I'm going to stand out? Like, I don't have the most stellar turnout or whatever, but it was the stillness and the confidence to stand firm in certain moments of stillness that I saw. And my friend was like, "Do you see all their heads turned toward you in the tendu? You must have done something." I swear, it was the confidence and it was the stillness. That tip is gold. And alongside with that, simplicity too. Simplicity is really, really helpful. It goes hand in hand with stillness sometimes, not always. Like, you can use that like constant growing, flowing quality of movement. That's totally valid as well. But choosing to make your movements very clear and simple so that they can be digested by the person who's watching you, that's really important. When I watch some of the world's best dancers, they don't have like a ton going on. Like, they're not just like flapping their arms and just like creating a bunch of distractions. They have simplicity and clarity in their movement, and that helps you to actually appreciate and take in what they're doing. Body language. Choose to have calm and expansive body language. Like, instead of being here and having your eyes low and darting around, choose to stand. Like, take up space with your energy. I'm not saying like literally, yeah, to an extent, like take up space, travel. Teachers talk about that a lot. Or don't be afraid to stand in the front, things like that. But a lot of taking up space just starts with your posture that you stand with. So dance in an expansive way. Stand with an expansive posture. Open your eyes to have an expansive gaze. Like, that really draws the attention in. The last point I will make is about communication. This part is all about knowing when and how to speak up. It does actually show you off very well if you ask smart questions that everyone else is thinking, but maybe they're not brave enough to say it. So this does require that you show up as very attentive and you really pay attention, so that you're asking a question that maybe is a real detail that the teacher didn't share, but it seems important. It could really show that you're paying attention and that you have the confidence to actually up-level everyone's class experience by asking the question that needs to be asked so everyone can win. That is something to be used sparingly and conscientiously. Like, think about it. You don't want to just, with all this stuff, use it sparingly and with discernment. Use discretion, okay? Don't take any of these and just like way overdo it. Just, again, going back to point one, just for the sake of attention because you're desperate for it. But it does show you off very well if you are a good communicator and you do ask thoughtful questions that are clear and to the point. And just generally in your communication, seek to be mature, calm, warm, and personable. That really goes a long way. Again, we're not coming in with that desperate, I need you to like me energy. One perceptual trick that can help you to show up confidently is just, in your mind, take them off that pedestal and talk to them like they're a person you respect. Key, a person you respect, okay? Even if you feel like they don't totally earn it, you show up with your decorum and your maturity and your respect, and at least that will give them no leverage to blame you. So yeah, when you show up confidently and you're warm and you make eye contact, for example, when you say thank you for the class, I really enjoyed it. Only say that if you mean it. Like, authenticity is also really important. Be yourself. And again, that perceptual trick of taking them off the pedestal but still showing warmth and due respect, that will help you to show up more confidently when you talk to them, because you will realize they're just a person like me. They're just doing their job. I'm just doing my job. This is transactional. Like, don't freak out. It's fine. I will leave the video there. I know I shared lots of tips. I would love to hear what you think. Especially, I'd love to hear what tip stood out to you the most, what resonated with you. Share in the comments. I always love to read them. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. Turn on the notification bell, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.